Good afternoon. My name is Jesus Martinez Hernandez. I also go as by Blackie. Whatever you like, I don't mind. It's just a name. Um, my thoughts in this, on the ocean test, it's pretty accurate. You know, compared to the scores and the meaning and all that stuff. Uh, it's pretty accurate. So we'll start in, understanding my personality. Uh, it means that I'm very open, I'm very kind, I'm very social, and there could be sometimes where I tend to be distant, a little quiet, a little down, a little anxious, but we'll get onto that. Uh, Now, when it comes to the scores and understanding the ocean and using that as to my career, I believe it works out. I believe it actually works out. Also, the big five, the ocean, it does help me in relationships, a better understanding of who I am and what my personality traits are. Um, yeah, so I actually got an 83 on neuroticism. I got 77 on extroversion. I got 90 on openness, like I already said. 89 on agreeableness, and 86 on consciousness. Yeah, right there. So for each category from that word, you got the first one, neuroticism. For anxiety, I got 15 points. I do tend to be very, anxious. I do be getting like some panic attacks occasionally. Depression is very high. It's on a 20. That's something, due to trauma. Um, the older I get, I try to, improve and better up myself by distractions, hanging out around people, um, socializing, talking, all that stuff. Self conscious, I do tend to be self conscious. I got 13 on that, which is somewhat high. Um, Moderation, I got a 10. For vulnerability, I got 15. I do tend to be very vulnerable, very delicate to certain topics. Uh, yeah. For extroversion, for friendliness, I got a 14, which is pretty fine. I do tend to be very friendly. I try to be. I mean, you treat people how you want to be treated, and it's better doing good than bad. For I don't know how to say this word, but Gregorianus, Gre- Gregorianusness, I got a 12. I actually don't know what that means, so we'll just go by that. Assertiveness, I got a 14. I do tend to be assertive, knowing what I want, how I want it. It has to be on this point, this level, and, dominant. For activity level, I got number 14. I do walk more, tend to be a little bit more active. Rarely sit down or lay down or just chill. I always have to be doing something. Either if it's work, I got like school right now, uh, going out for walks, going to the beach, or etc. Excitement seeking, I tend to have a 11 on that. I do very get tend to be excited on certain things, but it's like a setback where if I'm too excited, I drain very quickly. So that portion of excitement just kind of fades away. Cheerfulness, I got a 12. I believe it should have been a little bit higher because although I do be on from neuroticism, the depression, although I do be on very low, I believe, that could actually be high because I do tend to be cheerful around other people. And yeah, for openness, for imagination, I got 17. For artistic interest, I got 20. For emotionality, I got 20 on that. I do tend to be very, very emotional towards others, towards myself. Adventurous, I got a 12. So far, I haven't really been to many places. I would love to, but I can't do it by myself because I get anxious, and I prefer enjoying that adventure with someone, so we could talk about it and learn things, this and that. For intellect, I got a 10. I mean, I can be smart on certain things, but I still need practice. I need to adapt and better up my understanding on certain things. For liberalism, I got 11. Now moving on to agreeableness. For trust, that one. Trust is very hard to get. It's not so easy to give and receive. I got a 7 on that. That's the lowest thing I got. Reason why is my whole life I trusted a lot of people, and it always bite me back in my ass. So I've had a lot of downfalls, traumas with that. I've lost a lot of respect to people because I give it away so easily. I was confiding in them, and yeah, trust is a very hard one. Morality, I got 18. Altruism, I got 20. Cooperation, I got a 16. Yeah, I believe that's good. I believe that's actually it's pretty high there. I do tend to cooperate with anyone. Whatever someone says, I tend to go on their way. Yeah. For modesty, I got 14. For sympathy, I got 14. I do tend to be sympathetic with others, understanding them, understanding how they feel, how they react, how they think, how they go on their daily lives. I'm very sympathetic. For consciousness, for self-efficiency, I got 15. For achievement striving, I got 14. I do tend to get in my achievements every now and then, but there comes some times where going back at it again, like with depression, overthinking a lot, all that stuff, anger, vulnerability brings me down, and whatever I try to achieve doesn't really succeed along the way. Orderliness, I got 16. I do tend to be very orderliness. For self-discipline, I got 13. I think that should have been a little bit more lower because I really don't have that many discipline. I do need a lot of discipline. I need to improve in that so I could better up myself mentally and physically, because those need a lot of work. For dutifulness, I got 17. And for cautiousness, I got 11. I feel like cautiousness, I could have been a little bit higher too, because I do tend to be very cautious around others. I visualize and see if something's wrong. I tend to be very cautious, kind of like I could be a little trustworthy towards others. Sometimes, I'd rather stay back and then just watch from behind and see what's going on, if there's gonna be some good deeds or bad deeds. And yeah, I feel like this will help in relationships as well, because knowing all this, it does basically state who I am, personality wise, and the way how I think, the way how I feel, certain ways, like the way how I communicate. And yeah, so in my opinion, taking this test was actually pretty nice. It gives you a better understanding of your traits, your skills, and of who you are, basically.